It's always nice to do a little open lines every once in a while, get your direct feedback, isn't it? Up next, Dr. Evelyn Paglini. I call her the Good Witch. She's a parapsychologist and back by popular demand, and we'll be back with her in just a moment on Coast to Coast AM. Well, she doesn't need much of an introduction. Dr. Evelyn Paglini, parapsychologist, one of the leading authorities on the occult and the supernatural worldwide. Her website, mysticalblend.com, and here she is back on Coast to Coast. Hello, Evelyn.
Hello, and thank you for having me back.
My pleasure. How was your Thanksgiving?
It was fantastic. Lots of good food.
I love it. Do you cook or do you visit?
No, I had it cooked for me, and it was a pleasure. It was delicious.
Super. What's new with you these days?
Oh, just keeping busy and trying to learn how to slow down and say no once in a while.
That's not like you.
There's so much need out there, babe. There really is, and it seems to be escalating. I wish I could turn myself into a few more people.
Even since the last time we talked in May, Evelyn, this planet has continued to go into a topsy-turvy state. Can you feel it?
Oh, and I can only feel it. I'm seeing it, babe. I'm getting snippets of what's happening for the next couple of years, and I don't like it.
Is it fixable?
Not all of it, no, not at all. Mm-mm.
I want to talk about your predictions, some things like that, and then I also want to get into spells and things that you do. And my dear friend Tim Conway, who hosts the program on KFI in Los Angeles before I come on, he and I were talking about you tonight, Evelyn, and I kind of said that we'd do a good spell for him. Is that possible?
Okay, certainly, absolutely. Okay. Is there something in particular that he wants?
Yeah, he wants to win at the racetrack.
Oh, in other words, the game of chance.
Uh-huh.
What we can do is attract prosperity or money or success, but it can't be like lining up it with cards or the lottery. You can't say, I need it to come from that way. You have to just open up the door and allow it to flow towards you, as long as it's money.
Okay.
See, in other words, don't limit where it's coming from.
It could come from any source for him.
That's right.
All right. We'll get ready to do that, and we'll do your little incantations and do what you do on that. But I've got to tell you, I have a lot of emails from people who want to know how you're feeling these days. What do you want to give us an update on that?
Well, my strength and my energy certainly is coming back, and I'm hoping that it will continue to do so.
You are so loved, Evelyn. And
thank you.
This vast audience, they care a lot about you over all these years, that's for sure.
Well, thank you very much, and thank the listeners of Coast to Coast, because that's what keeps me going. I've been, doing it for 14 years on Coast to Coast, and there's a lot of people out there that have obtained a lot of personal power, changed their lives with learning how to do natural magic, and I like giving power to people.
Well, and you do it in such a way because, I've interviewed so many people who have their own styles, but I mean, you're honest, you're direct, and you just say it the way you feel it. And I like that.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Let's talk a little bit about some predictions for the coming year.
Oh, George, you're not going to be happy.
Oh,
I certainly wasn't.
Gosh, I wish we could.
As far as the weather is concerned, let me tell you some of my concerns, okay? One of them is this coming flu season. I have a very deadly strain of flu that's going to hit.
Oh, boy.
And this sucker is not going to respond to the drugs. And so, therefore, there's going to be, unfortunately, I've seen in my head, honey, body bags.
Oh, my God.
Too many body bags stacked up, one on top of the other. And so that's telling me that tens of thousands of people, young and old, are going to lose their lives of this flu. This one it's going to really take its toll. So that's one of my biggest concerns.
Pandemic type?
Not really, but certain states are really going to notice that they have more than others. And like I said, it's indiscriminate. From children to older people to young adults makes no difference. This is a deadly strain, and it's not going to respond well, okay, to the drugs. And what I keep seeing is not only does it last long, but when it leaves, if you do not build your immune system up immediately, it comes back, and it comes back with a vengeance. And so that's why I'm so concerned and so worried. I want people to stay on top of it.
All right, well, that's important. And it's ironic because over the last day or two, I've had a couple friends call me, and they say that they feel like they're coming down with a virus.
Yep.
And they say they've never felt it like this before, and it's fast.
Yes, it is. It moves very fast, but it lingers, and it hits the stomach and the chest area. Okay, and you are like drained immediately, and it's like there's no fight in you to fight this. And like I said, it's not responding well to the drugs that are going to be administered. And I'm very concerned about this.
They always say young people, older people really get affected when something like this hits.
Well, this one is indiscriminate. In other words, it's going to hit anybody at any age. It's not going to just hit the children, and it's not going to just hit the elderly or the people that are weakened immune system. No, not this one.
Everyone's in the way.
Yep. And what adds to it, honey, is we're going to have record-breaking snowfalls. There's going to be whiteouts. There's going to be power outages. There's going to be, again, planes being delayed, people being stranded. And to top it off, you're going to have a deep freeze. You're going to have, again, record-breaking cold temperatures that is going to cost people lives if they try to stay warm. So the cold temperatures are going to cause many deaths. This is going to be one hell of a deep freeze that is going to grab a few states and really grip it. And then you're going to have to be careful of what I'm seeing as ice storms.
Oh, those are the worst.
Okay?
The worst.
Yep, and that also is going to be making everything a traveling nightmare.
And we saw what happened on Thanksgiving and a few days before that. That could have been a disaster for people. It got better on Thanksgiving, but prior to that, it was a mess.
It was a mess, and I put that on my Facebook about 3 weeks ago. That one I called as well as that 65-car pileup
in Massachusetts.
On the interstate. Yeah. That's on my website, on my face page. I put those up because forewarned is forearmed as far as I'm concerned.
I agree. When you get these feelings, how do they come to you?
Well, sometimes it's feelings, but most of the time it's like you're watching a trailer, a snippet, and you're seeing what's happening in action. And then you have to decipher, where is it, how long is it, what is it about, that kind of thing. So it's like a movie screen that you are watching. It's like a movie trailer. And you get snippets of it. So like there's, I'm sorry.
I was going to say it's like a trailer, and you just had said that, where, it's just like the little movie is right out in front of you.
That's right. And there's going to be, I'm sorry to say, a whole lot of shaking going on. I'm talking about not just earthquakes here in the United States and elsewhere, but I'm talking an accelerated volcanic eruption.
So you see an angry planet next year.
I deal with the elements every single night, and it seems that the elements are in full force, and they want to be destructive. So here we're going to have all this snow and all this deep freeze cold. Then we're having the shaking going on. You think enough is enough. No, you got a summer heat wave that will be a killer.
Gosh.
That will also hit several states and grab it in its fist.
So we're going to get the worst of the seasons.
Yep. And we were very lucky this year as far as hurricanes were concerned. Not so next year. I'm very worried again about from, I'd say, Florida down to Texas. Flooding. So we do not have a good year starting now. Right now. It actually started a couple of weeks ago, and it will continue. That's why when I took a look at it, I said, my God, we're getting hit from the left and the right. You can't take a breath without something else, like a hammer.
And it doesn't stop.
Yeah.
All right. Weather is now. Can we change any of this? We really can't, can we?
Not really. The only thing you can is if you had a mass amount of people that at a particular time, collectively, try to diminish, that which is about to take place. That can happen. But you'd need a lot of people doing it all at the same time, and you'd have to have somebody directing it. But, yeah, you can diminish some of it. You can't get rid of it all, but you can certainly save a lot of lives.
Do you see anything worldwide with political strife in wars?
Well, that's all part of the economy, babe. And I do feel I'm worried about North Korea. I'm worried about Israel. But as far as here in the United States, another one of my concerns, if you have had your 50th birthday and you get laid off, over 60% of those people will not only have to take a cut in pay, their lifestyle will change.
Dramatic.
Very dramatically. Some will have to reinvent themselves. Others will have to move from another city or another state. This is not good. It's like there is this hammer that I see coming down if you have hit the 50th birthday and all of a sudden you get laid off. This is not good.
It's got to be so difficult for people at that age, Evelyn.
Because they still have 15, 18 years, of work in front of them. And yet their lifestyle is going to change. That which they believe they could provide for is not going to be there. And they're going to have to take a cut in salaries. I don't like the jobs that are being lost. There are more jobs that are being lost, not gained. I don't want to hear about those 180,000 people got a job. Tell me about the 11 million that are still looking and the more that are coming that are going to be laid off.
That's a good point. And like you say, the 50-year-old, is making a much higher salary than someone else, younger,
right.
And the business wants to save money, right?
So they can hire two for the price of him.
Or just the one at half.
That's right. And that's what's going to happen. Now we're going to also have to see, and I think everybody's been prepared for this, there will be a stock market correction before spring.
A big one?
I see about 2 to 2.5%, which isn't small.
Well, that's not small. At 15,000, that's a pretty good bump. Maybe even more, Evelyn. My God.
Well, I want to play it safe and say right there. The last time I almost got chewed up alive when I said that the Dow, this was in '08, was going to drop down to 7,000. People were going to hang me. And then it happened.
It sure did.
So this time I'm going to be a little bit more cautious and not get people angry with me and say 2 to 2.5% in spring or before spring. There is a correction.
They're not supposed to kill the messenger.
They try. But a few people did stick up for me. Thank you, God. One thing I do see that is bright, and I know this may sound funny, but the housing market is still a good investment.
So a little bright news here.
Yes, because there is still good selection of home inventory, and the interest rates are still low. This is a buyer's market, and the interest rates will rise next year, and so will the prices of homes. So now, if you've got the money, whether you're doing it just to upgrade your own home or as an investment, that's a plus.
That you like.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I also like as far as where are the jobs, right? The jobs are coming from construction and rebuilding.
But you got to be qualified to do that. Not everybody can pick up a hammer and go to work.
No, but the skilled laborer is going to be in demand.
Oh, there's no doubt.
Okay, with all of the damage that has been done to homes and businesses and roads and bridges that are going to have to be repaired, that at least, okay, is going to contribute to some people having a good paycheck. Like I said, too many others are losing their job. At least this is a little bit, even though it's the wrong way, it's out of a tragedy. But at least those people will have a chance, okay, to make a decent dollar.
What do you see about the internet continuing to be robust?
Oh, yes, very much so. And gold and silver is still one hell of an investment.
You like that? Okay.
Yes, I do. But what I am worried about is there is going to be some protests. And again, I'm picking up spring and summer, but some of these protests are going to turn real ugly.
Oh, really? Protests here in this country?
In this country, in the United States.
Okay.
Spring, summer, there's going to be some kind of outbreak of protests. In the beginning, it's okay, but then it turns ugly. Now, I don't know if somebody instigates it or sabotages it and turns it ugly, but very definitely. And I think because of the frustration and the desperation of what people are going through, the misery, you're going to see a lot of people who are borderline mentally. I call them the crazies. There's going to be more of those kinds of people who are going to want to go on killing sprees and take as many people with them as possible.
They had in the St. Louis area, Evelyn, a guy went into a jeweler, and he said, "Hey, I'd like to see that Rolex watch. I want to try that on." And they went, "Sure." They gave it to him. He ran out the door, and he was chased. He escaped. The police got him in a high-speed chase. They arrested a friend who was out there in the car waiting for him. The watch they got, it was valued at $34,000. In this economy, more people are doing really whacked out things, aren't they?
Yeah, because of the misery, the desperateness. That's what is causing it. It's like they're coming unglued. Everybody keeps waiting for the hammer to fall. The hammer's been falling. And certain people who have been going through this desperateness are now snapping. They
are snapping. You're right about that.
Now, there is one thing, and thank goodness I know that it's going to be stopped. But you're going to have a lone wolf, and we're always worried about those. But this time the target, okay, isn't a school or a college or even a shopping mall. This time the targets are politicians.
That's not good.
And so to me, I think it's going to be thwarted. I think it's going to be stopped. But I know we're going to hear about it.
All right, we will. Evelyn, stay with us. We're going to take this little break. Dr. Evelyn Paglini with us. She's with us for another hour and a half. We'll take some phone calls next hour with her as well. We're going to get into negativity, how to cleanse your home of negative people and negative things. And we'll get into some spells. I'm going to have her cast a good spell on my buddy Tim Conway here from AM 640 KFI in Los Angeles. He wants to win at the racetrack. Well, as you heard her talk about, she's just going to give him a blanket ability to get wealth. We'll be back. We will take phone calls with Evelyn Paglini next hour. When I come back with her, let's talk about negativity, spells, and all that fun stuff. Next on Coast to Coast AM. And welcome back with Dr. Evelyn Paglini as we talk about the occult. So some people claim that they have massive amounts of negativity in their homes, Evelyn. Mm-hmm. What do they do? How do they get rid of that? How do they change that?
Well, first of all, if you're moving into a new apartment or a new home, you should do a cleansing or a smudging. Now, people have heard about smudging, but not always are they doing it correctly. First of all, you must make sure that all of your closets and your cupboards are open, but all of your exits and your windows are closed, except for one window that is in the back of the apartment or the home. That you're going to leave open about 6 or 8 inches. When you do the smudging, not only are you doing the baseboard and the ceiling as you walk each room, But you are going to start to feel, and get pleasantly surprised, a pressure that starts to build up and a pushback as this negativity is moved from room to room that you are cleansing, always working your way toward that last room where the window is open. And believe me, when you get to that last room, that's when you're going to really feel the pushback, the pressure on you, because it's being trapped. It has no place to go but out of that window. So you're going to walk that entire room first, pushing every negativity and energy toward that open window, and doing the window and the frame last after you close it. What's good also, if you can get your hands on either some protection oil, some rosemary oil, or some rose geranium, all are very highly protectant essential oils. And that I would put on the window and the windowsill after I closed it. But that is one way. And you will feel the energy being built up and being trapped as you go through that smudging. That negativity will leave, and the rooms will feel like fresh sunshine and air has come in.
Can you get hurt when this is going on?
No, unless you have a real evil spirit that has been plaguing you. Then it's not so much getting hurt. You're going to be surprised by the fight you have, especially as you are getting toward that last room. In fact, I had a friend of mine that just did their home, and they couldn't believe when they got to the last two rooms the kind of pushback they got. They called me that evening when they got done. They said, Evelyn, I can't believe it. Now the house feels good and it feels light. She says, but my God, when I was toward the last two rooms, she says, I actually felt this pressure on my chest. I says, yep. You got rid of it, and it didn't have any place to go, so it started fighting back. I says, and as long as you push it toward that open window, you will get rid of it.
You have to keep pushing, though.
Oh, yeah.
It's a little like life, isn't it?
Yes. See, most people do it haphazardly. They like the smudge stick, and they wave it around a little bit. That's not the way to do it. You're dealing with a negative energy, a force there. And so you have to be very determined and very methodical. When you are walking each and every room, you are pushing that negativity away, getting out of that space and pushing it to the next room until finally you get it to that back room where the window is open.
Huh. Evelyn, let's talk a little bit about that spell for my friend Tim Conway, who wants to win at the racetrack. And you're saying...
Again, because he's saying racetrack, he is limiting the availability of money coming to him.
So we're going to make this a little broader for him.
Yes, what you want is to attract wealth, money, and success and good fortune to him. You don't care how it comes. You just want to make sure you get it.
Okay, how do you get it?
The best thing to do, there is, if you go to mysticalblend.com and look under rituals, there is one that's called Prosperity and Better Business. What you're doing is you are taking, let's say, a male who needs this, as your friend does, a green male image candle, and then what you're going to do is use an attraction oil, a prosperity or a better business oil to consecrate that candle in his first and last name. And then you're going to do a half an hour to 45-minute meditation and visualization, seeing that money coming to you, seeing you being more prosperous, having better luck and good fortune. And you do that about a half an hour a night.
Now, does he do that for himself, or do we do it for him?
No, he can do it for himself.
Okay.
See, I like to put the power into people's hands rather than having somebody else do it for you, and you're hoping to God they do it right and they care about you.
Yeah.
But if I teach you how to take care of yourself, if I empower you, no one could take that knowledge from you. So you can not only help yourself, but your family, your loved ones, your friends. I believe in giving the power to you. the knowledge to you. I don't want you going to somebody else and praying to God that they'll do it for you and do it right.
Take matters in our own hands.
Yeah. Plus, babe, you're touching the divine power within you.
That's true.
And you'd be surprised the kind of results, the quick results that you can get once you are good at meditation and visualization, because that is the foundation for ritual. And you've heard that from so many of your guests. They all talk about meditation. They all are, and they're right on. So if you emotionalize, if you visualize, and you get into that zone where you can focus your mind like a laser beam in getting the results you desire, you will. Just make sure you're not going to be interrupted. Make sure you've got enough energy. And like I said, about a half an hour an evening. No big deal.
What if you want to change your luck? Can you?
Absolutely.
Same way?
Especially if you've been in a bad cycle. Say you've been in a negative cycle for a while.
Okay.
What you do first is a cleansing. You're going to remove first what's blocking and stopping you. You're going to remove that negative cycle you're in. Then you're going to do an attraction ritual for that job, for that money, for that success. So yes, there is. There is a ritual. It's called Luck is Your Companion.
I like that.
Well, people need more luck.
This is under your ritual section?
Oh, yeah. MysticalBlend.com, look under rituals, and you'll see there's one for love and romance. There's one for prosperity and better business. There's one for legal and justice, health and well-being. It's there, especially psychic self-defense.
Psychic self-defense. Tell me about that.
In other words, if you feel that you have been under attack, there are several ways of protecting yourself. Now, there's one that you can do without doing a ritual, and that is to take a recent photograph of yourself or of you and your family, if all of you are being touched and affected, and putting it with a little bit of protection oil on the four corners of the picture, and then taping it to the back side of a mirror. So what you have done is the mirror is the reflector. Anyone that is sending you evil, negativity, or ill will or harm is going to get it back to them. It's like a boomerang.
And maybe even
without
worse.
Going through an entire ritual, just take a picture to the back of a mirror.
And the picture is facing in or out?
The picture is facing the back of the mirror.
It's facing the back of the mirror. Okay.
Yeah. The reflection is on the outside, so anything being sent is going to be repelled like a boomerang.
Okay.
And that's without going through an entire ritual. But there is one that is called psychic self-defense, which it's a reverse black and red image candle in the gender of the individual. And that removes the negativity and re-empowers you. And then there's a white candle that puts a shield of protection around you that is impenetrable, where nothing that is negative or evil is allowed to go through that shield of protection. Only that which comes from goodness, from God, and from love is allowed to penetrate your shield. All else will be repelled.
Can you go on the attack? Not that we should, but can you go on the attack with these same rituals if you want to go after? You can. Okay.
Babe, knowledge is a double-edged sword. It is only in the hands of the wielder of that power that it becomes either black or white. It's your intent. See, you can't say the devil made me do it. Oh, no, darling. You got to take responsibility for your actions. If you're going after somebody, it's you going after that person. So it is your ill will and intent that makes it black. So you can use that ritual for either good or for evil. And remember, candles will talk to you.
Yeah, well, tell me the importance, the significance of a candle.
Well, first of all, what kind of a candle? There could be a soldier candle. It's like a familiar where you send it out to do your bidding, that you consecrate it with the intent. There is also your votive candles, your tapirs, your knob candles, your image candles. The knob candles are tying up a person in knots, binding a person or an action to you. And then, of course, the image candle is the effigy or the representation of the person or the target that you are working on, the subject you are working on. And as I said, you must watch your candles. They will talk to you. If a candle is burning hot and the flame is high and the wax is burning well, that means what your intent is getting through. If it is hardly burning and hardly staying alive and up in flame, and the flame is low, that means you're meeting with resistance. And so you have to put in extra energy, extra focus, extra power. You might also maybe help by flanking that image candle with red, which again will give you extra energy, extra power, so you can direct that as a force. And then you'll see that flame shoot up and start to burn hot and high. So always watch your candles, no matter what candle it is, a knob, a tapir, a soldier, or an image. Every one of them will talk to you. I get so many people who email me and call me and say, my candles are doing weird things. They're sparking, or they're melting strange figures. They're supposed to. They're telling you something, honey. So pay attention. Candles talk to you.
Can you develop a ritual to try to contact the dead?
Yes. Yes, you can. You can take an article that belongs to them, either of clothing or an object that they wore. It would also be nice to have a picture of that person along with that article. And then if you would get a white image candle or a purple or lavender, then you are calling upon the spirit of that dearly departed. You have a paper and pencil ready, because images and thoughts and scenes will be placed in your mind.
When this is done, when do you see the results? Relatively soon?
Results of doing what?
Any of these spells. Do they happen quickly?
When the candles are done, usually within 48 to 72 hours, you start to see a result.
That's fast. That is fast. How can it backfire on you?
In what way? No.
Okay.
Again, it's your intent. What are you doing?
Do you have to believe?
What you're doing is removing negativity. So how is it going to backfire?
Do you have to be a believer in this?
No.
Well, what about the person who comes in and simply says, I don't think this is going to work. This isn't going to happen. Will it work?
If they have that much doubt, no, it won't. But if I were coming after you and say you didn't believe that I could harm you or affect you in some way, that's where you're making a mistake. Because one, distance doesn't matter. Time doesn't matter. It makes no difference where you are, whether you believe it or not. I can affect you.
Evelyn, I'm a believer, of course, in taking care of yourself, taking the right supplements, doing all that. But you have magic spells for health as well. Tell me how that works.
Well, again, it's the same thing. You are consecrating a white image candle with some healing, revitalizing, or stimulating oil. You are doing, again, a meditation visualization where in your mind what you are, I would say concentrating on is any pain, any discomfort, any disease that is going on within your body, you first acknowledge that it is there and what it is, and then slowly but surely you begin to eliminate it. And there's a nice beneficial phrase where it says, every day, in every way, I am getting better and better and better, stronger and stronger, healthier and healthier. Every muscle, every nerve, every fiber, every organ of my being is becoming balanced without pain.
See, you have taught us how to tap into this self whatever in order to fix anything, just about anything.
Yes. It's the divine power within you that most people never tap. They don't realize what they really have because no one's taught them. No one's told them that they can help themselves. They've only been told, oh, you've got to go to somebody and pay that person to do it. That's giving your power away. I make you learn for yourself. So not only can it not be taken away from you, but like I said, you can help your family, your friends, your loved ones. You're not the victim, you're the victor.
And it does change people, doesn't it?
Oh, big time. You will have people, hopefully, that will call in that have done some of these rituals because I get the feedback all the time.
Yes.
And you're going to find out what they have accomplished on their own. I mean, it's exciting. I mean, they become excited. They learn more because they say, wait a minute, I'm getting results here. I didn't know I could do that.
Is it mind over matter? What is it, Evelyn?
Oh, it's all of it. It's not just mind over matter, touching the divine power within you. Okay, using the elements which can be tools and assets that you can use to benefit you. You can also use the moon, the waning and the waxing of the moon, as well as the full moon and the quarter moon that will give you extra energy. These are all tools to assist you in achieving your goals and to get your results. It is not as difficult as what others would like to make it believe it is, and so that you stay away from it.
And it's not evil either, is it?
No, you're the one that makes it evil. That's what you have to understand. If I'm doing something against you, you're the innocent person. You're the victim.
That's right.
I'm the evil. I'm using knowledge and power of the occult. I'm using the knowledge of magic, but I'm using it to intimidate, to subjugate, to have power over you. That makes me the person who is wrong, not the magic. The magic is neutral.
Evelyn, hold on. We're at the top of the hour already. We're going to come back, final hour, and we'll take some calls, too. Okay, this is the hour. We're going to take some of your phone calls with Evelyn Paglini as we talk about predictions, spells. Yes, let's get into curses next because she's pretty adamant about that. It's very difficult for the good to be hit with the bad. And welcome back to Coast to Coast. Evelyn Paglini with us. Evelyn, when someone puts a curse on you or tries to, is that the same as a psychic attack?
Yes.
Aha. And so you go through
the psychic self-defense.
Okay.
Where you remove the negativity and then put a shield of protection around you that's impenetrable so it does not come back.
And again, with
By
that
the way,
mirror,
what I'm doing for your listening audience as my way of giving back, no matter how small the order is, I'm giving a free 1/8 of an ounce essential oil of my choice to every person that places an order. And they can also call, if they don't have the internet, they can call 818-700-9345. Every person will get a free essential oil.
excellent. And these oils all vary, don't they? What do they generally use?
I blend these all oils there. Prosperity, better business, love, the revitalization, healing, stimulating, protection. Every oil, if they go to the website, look at it, says essential oils, there's a complete breakdown of over 40 oils and what they are used for. So they can go into any metaphysical store in their area and they know what they're buying and what they're using it for.
Now, do you steam it? Do you put it on you? What do you do with it?
Well, first of all, you're going to wear it, and by wearing it, you're putting it on your forehead, your throat, your heart, and your solar plexus. Those are your main chakras. You also can put it on product you're selling, on your computer, on your telephone, on your wallet, on your front door of your business. You can also put it if you're selling a piece of property. If you're going to court, you have a legal injustice oil. So there are so many different oils that are wearable. They are used in ritual. They are used to protect you or to attract to you.
Huh. Let's take some calls, Evelyn. We'll come back to some of this incredible work that you've been doing. Hey, by the way, how'd you get into all this in the beginning?
I was born into it. My grandfather and my father taught me. I was initiated at the age of 4. If I was in Italy, they would call me a strega. I am an Italian, a Tuscany witch. Strega means witch. And I am a practitioner of natural magic, a solitary practitioner.
The good witch, as I call you.
Yes.
Was that something that you elected to do, to take that path?
Well, I'm a spiritual warrior. That's what I was raised for by my father and my grandfather. I take on evil, and I fight it. I fight fire with fire. I'm not afraid of it. I've been trained all my life to fight evil. So it's like, bring it on.
You're not afraid of it.
This is one person that's going to show you what magic is really all about. I like going after people who are victimizing others because they have a little knowledge and they are using it to intimidate or to harm others. And I love taking people on like that.
You are a champion.
And I always have been. I made a promise a long time ago to my grandfather that I would share my knowledge with anyone, that I would give this power away so that people can help themselves, not where you have to join a society, where you have to listen to a mentor, where you have to go to school. No, This is something that you're going to develop on your own, and it's never going to be taken from you.
To the phones we go. Dallas is in Oklahoma, east of the Rockies. Hi, Dallas. You're on with Evelyn Paglini.
Yeah, Dr. Paglini, I call you with sadness, and I had a question. My mom has been in intensive care for 3 weeks now, or nearly 3 weeks, and I was just wondering if you can see her getting better. And I'll listen off the air, George.
Well, first of all, I'd have to know her first name, her age, and what is going on with her physically.
Her name is Evelyn, and she's 66 years old, and she's had some kind of ailment with her heart. It just stopped beating. I had to call 911 and get the ambulance here and stuff, and she's been fighting this for 3 weeks. And she is a fighter. She is a fighter. This woman is not going anywhere anytime soon. And even if she did, she would not cross over. She would stick around to be with her children. Yes. But I do feel that she will make it through, yes. She's going to have, though, another downturn, in the late spring, early summer, so be careful and watch her. Okay. Thank you, Doctor.
You're welcome, honey.
That's so important to be a fighter and a believer. How important is prayer, Evelyn?
It's very important. It is one of the number one ways of diminishing, if not eliminating, an illness.
No, not at all. West of the Rockies, Roxanne, you're up with us in California. Hi, Roxanne.
Yes, hi.
Good to have you with us.
I wanted to ask Evelyn.
Well,
I feel like I live with evil. When I first moved into my home, this man was so bad, but we fought through it. And we've been here about 2 years, and my husband lost his job 3 months ago. And now he wants us out immediately, and I called 15 churches today, and they not one would help me. Catholic Charities said the homeless shelters are full. Goodbye.
So
let me tell you something, honey. If you will do the meditation, even if you don't know it, I will give you my class on meditation and visualization, and I will give you the prosperity and better business package. Roxanne, call my office tomorrow. Talk to Heather, and you tell her I am giving this to you. I will turn your life around.
I'm 52 years old. I'm totally disabled. My husband's been doing everything he can to work. And
let me take a shot at it, honey. Let me try to change your life, okay? If you will do the meditation, I will send you the ritual as a gift.
I know, but I don't have any. I'm not going to have any place to live in a few days. I'm evicted, and this man he turned off my internet, he turned off my cable, he turned off my TV, he disconnected my appliances, and I can't find any place to live.
Rox, you don't have a friend who would take you in? Nobody?
I don't. I only have my niece who has a 1-bedroom apartment and 3 children, and I absolutely don't. I'm going to be homeless. And I called 15 churches today.
I can't believe that somebody...
Not one would take her in.
Not one church, not one...
No. They would say, the homeless shelters are filled. Goodbye.
Well, I tell you, I'm going to put you on hold, Roxanne. I want you to give Tom your phone number if anybody lives in the Escondido area in California and you know of somebody that could help her. Let's do that while Evelyn does her stuff. We'll try it on both ends.
I will try and help this woman as much as possible, but she needs a place where she can do the meditation.
Absolutely. It's got to be very difficult to be in that kind of situation.
Well, why do you think I said I'll give it to her?
I know it.
I'll give her the package of prosperity and better business. I will give her the class on meditation and visualization. I will try to change this woman's life, but she's going to have to do the meditation somewhere.
And if anybody out there is, working at a social welfare place in the San Diego area and you can help, call Tom, because we'll give you her number and we'll see what happens. I suspect, Evelyn, that that's just the tip of the iceberg with the amount of people who need that kind of help.
Why do you think when you first asked me what have I been doing, I said, I'm trying to learn how to say no and to slow down, but there are so many people out there in need. I cannot reach them all, and I wish to God I could. I only know that the people that I have taught over these past 14 years, your coast-to-coast listening audience, God bless them, they are making a difference.
They sure are. There's no question about it, and I'm convinced somebody out there will probably be able to help her out a little bit. Let's go to Deborah in Greenfield, Missouri. Welcome to the program. Hello, Deborah. Go ahead.
Yes. My question is, I've been considered a green witch. I was taught by my mom, and of course through God knows how long, there's a lot of Indian blood in me that goes back for centuries. My question is, do curses transcend over years? I mean, we're talking hundreds.
Well, it could be hereditary. It can pass down from child to child.
Oh, the Kennedys were cursed. How long was that one, Evelyn?
Yeah. Not only that, most people will find that if their family is from the old country, that is where a curse has usually been put on, generational. Meaning it not only will affect the man or the woman, but they usually say the family, meaning the offspring. And so there have been many times that I have blocked and stopped a generational curse.
Deborah,
it can be done.
Let's find out what kind of curse is out there, Deborah.
This guy is incredible.
Deborah, you there? Well, she's not, but somebody else is. Try her over here. Deborah?
Don't hang up.
You there?
Yes, yes.
What kind of a curse is on you?
I'm not quite sure. I've been carrying this around for a lot of years, and I think it comes from my Indian heritage.
Yeah, but somebody had to do it, and there usually will show itself, okay, either in your health or in your finances. In other words, it's going to attack a specific area of your life unless the person really wanted you and your family buried. Then they'd hit you with all sides, whether it would be your job, your emotions, your family, your marriage, money, career. I've seen people be hit with everything because the person didn't want them to succeed in any shape or form.
Well, this has went through my mom. It's went through my grandma. It's went through my great-grandma. I'm the only daughter by my mom. And it seems to be it's only the females in the family.
Well, apparently that's the way it was sent. But this can be removed. You do not have to be plagued any further. Again, psychic self-defense. You take it off of you, you send it back to the sender, and you put a shield of protection around you so that it cannot come back.
Evelyn, do you have a ritual where somebody could just do it once a week for just general things?
Not really.
It's got to be specific?
Usually the intent has to be emotionalized and visualized specifically to get the kind of results. If you're doing half-ass, you're going to get a half-ass result. What you've got to do is be very specific, and you have to emotionalize it, see it in action, feel it. Let it empower you. Let it take away the negativity and revitalize and rejuvenate you and empower you again and build up your immune system, especially if you're having a problem with your health.
Cassidy's in Tulsa, Oklahoma. First-time caller. You're on with Evelyn Paglini, Cassidy.
How are you guys tonight?
Good, Cass. Thank you.
Good. I have a kind of a crazy story that happened to me, I don't know, 5-6 years ago, and I haven't really mentioned it to too many people because of the craziness of it.
All right, what happened?
I was, I guess, just met this girl or whatever, and I didn't know what she was dabbling in. She was in some pretty dark stuff, and I didn't have a clue about it. But and this was early in our relationship or whatever. I don't know if it was voodoo or whatnot, but I decided that I just didn't want to be with this girl, and I left all my clothes there at her apartment, and I went back to my house, and she had put all my clothes in this plastic container, and she came to bring them to me, and I thought nothing about it. Well, she brings them to me, and she unzips this bag, and then she walks around me. I don't know, I guess it'd be counterclockwise. And so I felt something crazy wrap around my legs. And it was just like, you know, something was tying me down. It was like weird.
No, it's not rare, honey. What she was using is sympathetic magic on you.
What's that,
Evelyn? Which is in sympathy with the body. Any garment that is worn close to the body picks up the essence, the energy of that person. Now, if you take a black image candle and you take strands of, let's say, that garment, and you infuse it in the center of that image candle, now you have that contact, that in sympathy with. And if you can visualize what the person looks like, or even better, if you have a picture of that person, then you also have imitative going for you. And that's what she's using on you, darling. But again, she can be blocked.
And
you can turn it on her.
Check this out. What happens? Well, right after that happens, I start feeling something weird. Like my facial features started feeling weird. My tongue texture started to change.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen what she did. She went underneath my bed where I was sleeping the night before, and she had placed these weird-looking stones underneath my bed.
Jeez. Move that lady out.
Well, and what happens is she ends up leaving, and me and my buddy were driving to his house, and we get to his house, and I get out of the car, and all these cats in the neighborhood come running towards me and freak me out. And everywhere I went for like a couple of hours, there'd be cats everywhere. So I went to my local church, and I had a preacher pray over me. And what it felt like there was an octopus, unseen octopus, on top of my skull that wrapped all the way down my spine. And I just couldn't think. I couldn't move. I didn't know what was going on. And, well, he prayed for me, and it felt like there was this vacuum stuck to the top of my head, and it just sucked it all out. And
Excellent.
And I'm just wondering what it was and what your thoughts are about it, and maybe what...
Like I said, imitative and sympathetic magic is what she used on you, honey.
Okay.
She wanted to control you, and she exactly did.
Well,
you're lucky that she didn't use something that was even worse. I had a case not too long ago where someone had a very young child that was very popular, and all of a sudden came down with a disease. Even the doctors couldn't figure out why she was wasting away. And I got involved with the case. And when I walked into this young lady's bedroom, I could feel the energy that was negative right in the room. You could cut it with a knife. So I had them pick her up and get her out of that bedroom, and I tore that place apart. And what did I find? But a tangerine that was rotting and moldy in this little dollhouse of hers. And on with a marker was her first name, and on the back was a symbol of a young lady with pins stuck in it from the chest.
Somebody was doing that. Evelyn, stand by. We're coming back with final calls with you in just a moment. If you want to watch the Ouija board in action, get a hold of Karen Dahlman and watch her on Beyond Belief for free. That's right. You get 10 days free to watch as much television as you want. Simply go to this website, beyondbelief.com. And welcome back to Coast to Coast. It's our final segment here with Evelyn Paglini. Evelyn, you all set for Christmas too?
Oh, I'm getting there.
Good for you.
And I certainly want to wish you and the Coast to Coast audience a happy and safe holiday season.
Thank you, Evelyn. You too. And we'll see what happens in 2014 with these predictions. I think you're right. I think we're going to have some rough weather ahead, aren't we?
Very much so. It's a bad year, babe. Very bad.
People just need to get prepared, be ready. Anything can happen. Jeez. If all H breaks loose, right? The bottom falls out, wars, famines, pestilence. What do we do?
You do a lot of praying. You light a white candle, and you put a shield of protection around you and your family, and then around the United States, so that things do diminish, and they do get stronger, and they do get better. But unfortunately, 2014 is not going to see a lot of mainstream America being pleased. There's just too many people losing their jobs and losing their homes because of it. We're not out of the woods yet economically, not for at least another 2 years.
Okay, next up we go to Paul, Wheeling, West Virginia. Paul, welcome to the program. You're on the air with us.
Thank you.
Sure thing.
I got a quick question, and I hope it's not beyond the realm of what we're talking about here, but I live in a really old apartment building, and it's actually built upon an old slave auction house. And I don't really know anything about spirits or ghosts, but it definitely feels like in one section of our building, there's just a really hateful presence. It's not there all the time, but sometimes, usually after about 2 o'clock in the morning, you just feel it, and it feels like it's almost strangling you. Like your chest gets really heavy. It's hard to breathe. And I don't know how else to describe it, but I was wondering if there's any way to deal with that or get rid of that or protect yourself.
On my website, mysticalblend.com, there is a ritual that is called cleansing and protection of the environment. And that will definitely help not only your apartment, but the apartment of others, especially if you put some sulfur on the outside and some black salt on the inside beside the essential oils I had mentioned earlier. Protection, rose geranium, or rosemary, and you will notice the difference immediately. Negativity or evil will not stay around when you do the cleansing of the environment.
What possesses someone, Evelyn, to want to hurt somebody else with these curses?
Well, there could be love that has been not returned. It could be revenge. It could be just about anything. You never know what's in a person's mind. I have so many people that call me and say, Evelyn, I never hurt anybody. I've always tried to help people. Why am I catching my lunch? Because apparently your white light is shining so bright that you are calling attention to yourself, and evil is finding its way to you to snap out the light. So what you do is you protect yourself. And like I said, use the mirror magic. It's a real simple way to do it, and it does protect you.
I'd like
It's not a big ritual.
Are mirrors evil?
No. Absolutely not. They're used in scrying, telling the future. Okay, again, they are used as a repellent against negativity and evil. You can also use it in health and well-being so that you can work on specific areas of the body. Mirrors are excellent. They will ward off evil, they will repel evil, and they will put protection around you.
When you
Mirrors
were
are your friend.
you were talking about the curse with the tangerine. What
Yes.
would the tangerine be used for?
As the tangerine rotted, so was the child rotting.
I see. Somebody understood that then.
Oh, yeah. The person did this on purpose because their child was not as popular. And so what they were doing was going after this young lady because of her prettiness, her popularity, her goodness. And unfortunately, that's what was happening, and the doctors could not figure out why she was wasting away. When I found the tangerine, that's when I investigated who had been in her bedroom, and we settled down to this one person. I wrapped up the orange, and I brought it to this other person's home. As soon as the woman of the house saw it, I knew what she did. And I told her, you will never do something like this again, because otherwise you will watch what you're doing to this child happen to your children.
You don't perform exorcisms, do you?
Not anymore, but I have.
Really?
Yes. I don't have the strength and energy to do it anymore.
No, that's got to be exhausting.
Oh, babe, is it? Very much so. And you are fighting evil. And you cannot let your guard down for one instant.
Constantly. Let's go to New Jersey. Bob, you're with us. Thanks for calling, Bob.
Hi, George. Nice to get through on the program. Dr. Paglini, nice to meet you.
Hi.
Thank you.
I have a question about, could you go over the timetable regarding psychic impressions reach from point A, how long it takes them to reach point B, and whatever variations there can be involved in that.
I don't quite understand, sir, what you're asking me. From point A to point B?
A projected thought form from one to another.
If you can create a thought form and put enough energy and life force behind it, then you can affect another person or influence another person. Very definitely. Now understand, when you are dealing with another human being, you don't just wave a magic wand and sprinkle some fairy dust and get a result. You must do a ritual, and it must be intensified.
Right, and but the timetable. How long does it usually take for it to manifest in the receiving end?
Usually 48 to 72 hours after completion of the rituals when you start to see the effects. Sometimes you may have to do the ritual more than once, especially if you're a novice or a chela, meaning one that has not been doing ritual. So you may have to do it more than once, but you can and will succeed. Just make sure you have the time and the energy and that you're not going to be interrupted. And like I said, you're talking about a half an hour to 45 minutes per night.
It's not a lot of time. It's probably pretty relaxing, isn't it?
Yes, it is. But again, your mind must not waver from its intent, whether it's to attract love, okay, or to repel negativity and evil. You must be very much intent on what you are attempting to get as a result. Very specific.
We've got Kathy now in Erie, Colorado. Hello, Kath. Go ahead.
Hi.
Hi.
I have a question about my mother who has dementia or Alzheimer's, and it seems to be getting worse. She does not live where I am, but I'm wondering if you get anything about her or if there's any way we can improve that. I've been reading about coconut oil, perhaps, as being helpful on a more physical level.
Well, again, because
and she's 87, and she lives in Kansas.
Honey, I'm not very good, okay, as far as the medical end of it. All I know is that there is a health and well-being ritual that can improve her health and well-being, that can help revitalize and rejuvenate the body. Go to mysticalblend.com. Take a look at the rituals. There's one that's called Health and Well-Being.
Okay.
You can do the ritual for her, and you will see that whatever is going on can be diminished and can also be stalled. That I know for a fact because I have dealt with Alzheimer's patients before, and it works.
It seems like it's a really tough thing to deal with.
Yes, it is.
All right, good luck to you, Kathy. Let's go to Thomas, Fairbanks, Alaska. Your turn, Thomas. You're on with Evelyn. Go ahead.
Hi.
Hi.
I think that I'm cursed.
How come?
And I'll tell you why. My dad was working for the Air Force Base in '66, and well, at the time they were working for the university, and they're trying to figure out why the flu epidemic hit everybody so hard up north. And I guess because of frozen tundra, they couldn't bury him, and so anyway. He come back on his birthday, and my mom's pregnant with me, 9 months, and the skull rolled out of the suitcase, and my mom went into labor. Well, anyway, we kept the skull on the upper left shelf, and anyway, one time I was, messing with the skull, and it's like, you know how when you get hit, it's like a light flash, like the sun?
Sure.
Well, this was like a lightish blue, and it startled me, and I think I just had bad luck ever since.
Well, again, sir, if you believe that someone has done this to you, psychic self-defense will remove it and put a shield of protection around you so that it does not come back.
How many people, Evelyn, bring this black cloud over their own heads?
very few are going to intentionally draw or attract negativity. It's usually being sent to them by a person that is seeking revenge or has jealousy of them, and so therefore it is placed upon them.
More and more people are getting into magic these days. What are they looking for?
Power. They like being able to intimidate, to subjugate people. They want them to do their bidding. They want them to fear them. And so therefore they will. The last 20 years I have seen an increase extensively in people that are getting into the occult and into magic, and for the wrong reasons. They're using it not just to better themselves, but to control and to have power over others. That's why I teach people to be spiritual warriors like me, to kind of like even the playing field, so that there are not just the victims out there, but there are warriors who are going to be able to block and stop them.
Let's go to Hugh in Ottawa, Canada. Hey, Hugh, thanks for calling. Go ahead.
Hi.
Howdy.
Hi, George.
Hello, Hugh.
How are you doing?
I am fine. Go ahead.
Well, I want to thank you for that wonderful show. We've been following your show since 2008, since something real big happened to us. Me and my wife got enlightened by the way it should be. And when I heard Evelyn tonight, which I heard previously, I think last spring, we had to call. And anyway, my question for Evelyn is, what's the next step? We've been transposing all kinds of spirit, liberating them. We live deep in the wood with no money and can survive plenty because of abundance. Not money, but everything comes when it's due. Pardon me for my French, right? And anyway, my question for Evelyn is, even with a crystal ball, a quartz ball, my toner's fork or anything like that, it seems like everything is not as powerful as it used to, and we have to go to the next level kind of thing to help more generally give love and make people understand that it's not material we should want, is more a peaceful union, harmonized life. And
well,
how can
you can do a peace, love, and harmony ritual.
Peace, love, and harmony.
Yeah, which will bring more of that into your life. It brings peace. It brings love not only from family, but friends, co-workers. And it also brings harmony, okay, with those that you interact with.
What do the candles do? Again, Evelyn?
The candles will talk to you. If they burn hot and high, that means you're getting through with your intent. If they are hardly burning and staying awake and alive, that means it's meeting with resistance and you have to put in extra energy and extra power. Or you can also flank your altar with the color of red, like another red soldier candle, and that will give you extra energy and extra power in the ritual that you're trying to succeed at.
How do you feel about Hollywood's portrayal of witches?
I think they're coming around more, and they're giving it not just always the evil side, but like you said, the Good Witch. There is a series of movies out there that is called The Good Witch, and that's what she does. She enlightens people, empowers people, okay, and takes away the negativity and re-empowers the person. So, yeah, there's a lot more people getting into it, but there's also a lot more people leveling the playing field.
Let's go to David in Lockport, New York, east of the Rockies. Hi, David. Go ahead.
Hello, George. Long-time listener, second-time caller.
Thanks, David.
kind of ironic. The first time that I spoke with you, I talked to you. You had Dan Aykroyd on the show that night, and and I spoke to you about Lilydale, New York. And there was an HBO documentary on it. I meditate a lot. You know, I try to do the candle thing, which everyone's talking about tonight. But you know, got to be honest. You know, talk about with so much going on in the world, it's kind of deterring sometimes. You know, like there's only so much that you can meditate to try to get good things going on when there's so much bad going on right now. Like the woman that called and just, I heard the desperation in her voice, and there's a lot of Americans right now that feel like that, you know, that fall through the cracks, that don't have much going for them and everything like that. Like there's only so much meditation that, you know, these desperate people can do to try to get over with how bad things are these days, you know, and I don't know, like there's been a lot of good guests on lately, and I've been listening, you know, and
if you
I like John B. Wells' show the other night and everything. But I got to be honest, the guest on tonight, she's a little less inclined to agree with a lot of the things that, you know, she's saying tonight. I mean, there's only so much you can do. I don't know.
Well,
sir, if you continue to meditate, if you continue to visualize and emotionalize, you will start to get results. Don't give up. Be determined. And I'll tell you what I've told my students. When you open up your altar and you walk into your altar room, leave yourself, your id, outside. Go in as if you are a robot getting the job done. Because everybody's got their idiosyncrasies, everybody's got their fears and their doubts. And you do not walk into the altar to do a ritual with all of that. You leave that outside, and you go in with a purpose and a determination, and you'd be surprised the kind of results you will get. Just don't give up.
Never give up. Evelyn, give out that phone number again, would you?
Yes, it's 818-700-9345. Remember, a free essential oil with every order, no matter how small.
Super. Evelyn, you have a great Christmas, okay?
Thank you very much, and to your audience likewise.
Dr. Evelyn Paglini. When I come back, we'll have some open lines for you on Coast to Coast AM to wrap up the show. We'll be right back.